There we go. Welcome back, everyone. Ladies, gentlemen, whoever you are, wherever you are, whenever you are. Yes, we are back and we are live. Oh man. I didn't even think we were going to get to go live today. Been having some real issues with Streamlabs, but I think we've just about got it fixed now. I think. So I hope you're all doing well out there. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules to come and join me here on the stream. I have got some pretty cool stuff for us to take a look at today. And it might just be that I was right all along. Well, Ken Webb was right all along, and I got on board with him a bit later, but possibly we are just a brain in a jar. No, we are. Possibly. Maybe. Potentially. If. Maybe. I don't know. So let me just get into the chat room first, and let me get kind of settled, because I've been rushing about the last minute there. I had to get my coffee sorted. No PPP, so I'm flying blind today, folks. I am flying blind, but I hope you are all doing well out there, and I've got a brilliant show lined up for later on today. Well, I'm lying really when I say I've got a brilliant show lined up. All credit has to go to my sister, the Nano Girl. She has put together a cracking presentation. Yes, indeed. Pardon the pun. I know. It was a bit of a bad one, but hey ho. So that will be on the main show today. Nano Girl, episode 1406. I would say still going strong, but we're still going. We're still going, okay? We're still going, and it's thanks to people like Nano, Jimmy coming on, Charlie last night, all of our regular guests, all of the new guests are going to be coming up as well, that we're still able to maintain the level of info that I get to you people out there. And remember, one rule, I provide, you decide. Is that one rule or two rules? It's the one rule broken into two, right? So who have we got in here today? A big shout out to Armand. Armand was going to be grooming the lion. Yes, he was. He was going to be on camera showing his grooming skills with his wonderful dog. But I think something went wrong with his laptop. And I was actually going to bring you a little bit of Armand grooming the dog today. So Armand, I hope you get that sorted out, brother. I got that audio book from you, I believe. I think I've still to download it, but I think we'll be able to get it, okay? So in the chat room, I want to give a big warm welcome to a very special woman indeed. And this goes all the way from Scotland. Now, is it still working? Oh, hang on a minute. Hang on. Hold on. Okay, let's see. Will it come back? Yes, I think we're back. Are we back? Are we live? I'll wait for the chat room to catch up. Some crap tunes on. You are live and we can hear you. Yep, 5x5. Zoe, thank you. Armand. Malaya. Yep. We've got Sid in there, but I was going to give a big special warm welcome to a very wonderful woman today. We've all got used to our very good friend Sid, aka Vic, in the chat room here on YouTube and over in Discord. And he was telling me that today his mum is tuning in all the way from Norway. So like I say, from Scotland, from my family to yours, Vic, huge heaps of love flying right across the North Sea and landing wherever in the Arctic Circle you are, brother. Yes, indeed. So are we still going? Are we all good? I think we're all good. Algo said we were good. Billy says we're good. If Billy and Algo say we're good, we're good. All right? So we've got Algo in there. We've got the Bearded Traveller. Polly is in there. Rose. LB, I think it is. Trudy. Pierrot. Pepe Vasu. I haven't seen your name for a while. Welcome back. Yeah, there was a bit of lag there. Like I say, I'm having problems with Streamlabs, folks. Didn't touch a thing. I've not touched a thing on it, and it's just gone screw with. But don't you worry about that. We're here now. We're live. We're going to get into a brilliant show tonight. I don't know if you caught that part. We've got the Nano Girl coming on. It's going to be a cracking show tonight over on KBS, so I hope you're all there for that one. We've also got in the chat room Malaya, Orangehead, aka Polyfrude or Frode. We've got St. Louis or St. Louis Arch, Lessons for Life. I am back, brother. You know it. You better believe it. We'll need to get you back on the show sometime soon as well, Julian. Please check out Lessons for Life. He's doing some great work over on his channel, as is Algo. He's got Algo Radio, and I think he's got a UK edition. He's got lots of stuff happening there. So I urge you all check him out. We've got Onslow. It wouldn't be right, Onslow, if I didn't give you a squirt of dopamine. You ready? Onslow, you are the man, or you might be the woman. I've no idea. I'll go for dude, right? I'll go for dude. We've got Lynn, Nothing As It Seems, Sidvit, she's in there with his mum, Billy Joe, Armand. We're going to look at Armand's stuff today, but I think his laptop packed in. It's one of those days. Is Mercury in retrograde? Is it? Could it be? I don't know. I don't keep on top of that kind of thing. We've got the Bearded Traveller, the Wookie. How you doing, Wookie? Hope you're doing good, brother. We miss you. Come back to our Discord, man. We miss you. We have also got in there a heap of other people I've probably forgot to mention. There'll be more people turning up now. Jules! Can't miss out Jules. Always listening, Kev. Hey, that's what I like to hear, P. I'm just going to call you P, because I butcher your name every time, okay? Marty, exactly. Much love to Sid and his mum. Big time. Must be getting cold where you are, Sid, because it's getting pretty cold over here. So listen, look, that was a bit of a disaster of a start. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump right into some of the stuff that I've got for you today. Now, you know that myself and Scott and Ken Webb and Joe Joseph, we often used to joke about the fact, or not the fact, the thought, the potential for maybe everything being explainable if we're just a brain in a jar. Just a brain in a jar, right? I don't have the cool voice that Ken Webb's got to say it, but what if we are just a brain in a jar? And you know, when we do the members only streams, we've got the brain in the jar in the corner. And if you want to be on the members stream, damn, that was good how I done that. Click that join button down below. We need 10 new members to take us up to 60. I know you people can do it. I know you can. So, brain in a jar. We're going to be talking about the brain today. And it's a really, really cool story because it really fits in with the as above, so below. When the micro makes it to the macro. And the potential for it being a fractal, kind of holographic nature of reality that we're in right now. And this is a scientific study. It was it was a neurologist and a physicist got together. Sounds like the start of a bad joke, right? Doesn't it? What happened when a physicist and a neurologist got together? I don't have a snappy punchline, but they came up with a pretty snappy idea. And they found an odd similarity between our brain and something else. Can you guess what it is yet? They have found a similarity in our brains and the universe. No, they have. It says an astrophysicist and a neurosurgeon. Damn. It would have been the start of a good joke if I'd got it right. Okay? So this comes from futurism.com. But over here on phys.org, we've got the actual scientific kind of breakdown of this. And like I say, this for me ties into the whole as above, so below nature of reality. You see things on the very microscopic level being mimicked and almost replicated on the big scale. And you can use the example of how, say, a flower grows the golden ratio, the Fibonacci sequence, and then you can look out into space at the macro, at the massive, and how galaxies themselves form, and how it too adheres to the same mathematical principles. So it shouldn't really be a surprise that when they looked closely at the brain, they found this odd similarity with the universe itself. Really gets the mind going, doesn't it? You have to open your mind, but not to the point where your brain falls out, remember? And it makes you wonder just what is reality? What is this all about? What is life? Where did we come from? Where are we going? Are we in a simulation? I don't know. I wish I could answer all of those questions for you. But we're going to take a look at this, and I've got a few other stories to take a look at as well. It's going to be cool. It's going to be fun, and it's going to get us right in the mood for Nano Girl coming on with her cracking show today. I've overused that pun already, right? So, does the human brain resemble the universe? It says here, an astrophysicist at the University of Bologna and a neurosurgeon at the University of Verona compared the network of neural cells in the human brain with the cosmic network of galaxies. And surprisingly, similarities emerged. Now, I would imagine there's a lot of people listening to this in our audience here that probably aren't too surprised by that because of what I mentioned before. As above, so below. The micro and the macro. You always find the similarities between the two. In the paper published in Frontiers in Physics, Franco Vazza, an astrophysicist at the University of Bologna, and Alberto Filetti, neurosurgeon at the University of Verona, investigated the similarities between two of the most challenging and complex systems in nature: the cosmic network of galaxies and the network of neuronal cells in the human brain. Now, despite the substantial difference in the scale between the two networks, more than 27 orders of magnitude, it's a number that we can't even imagine, or at least I can't imagine. Anything over 9 zeros, and I start to get lost. Their quantitative analysis, which sits at a crossroads of cosmology and neurosurgery, suggests that diverse physical processes can build structures characterized by similar levels of complexity and self-organization. Now, that's a bit of a spiel. Okay, that's a bit of science kind of gobbledygook there. Unless you're way more intelligent than me, and all of that made sense. So it says the human brain functions thanks to its wide neural network that is deemed to contain approximately 69 billion neurons. I like how they say approximately because, let's face it, nobody's counted that exactly, right? On the other hand, the observable universe is composed of a cosmic web of at least 100 billion galaxies. Now, within both systems, only 30% of their masses are composed of galaxies and neurons. Within both systems, galaxies and neurons arrange themselves in long filaments or nodes between the filaments. And finally, with both systems, 70% of the distribution of mass or energy is composed of components playing an apparently positive role. Water in the brain, and you've got dark energy in the observable universe. Now, it sounds a bit weird there, dark energy in the observable universe, because we've never seen dark energy. We only speculate and propose it's there because of the way that galaxies themselves act. There must be this other kind of force out there, this unseen hand that shapes things. And they call it dark energy. So it says, starting from the shared features of the two systems, researchers compared a simulation of the network of galaxies to sections of the cerebral cortex and cerebellum. The goal was to observe how matter fluctuations scatter over such diverse scales. We calculated that spectral density or the spectral density of both systems. This is a technique often employed in cosmology for studying the spatial distribution of galaxies, explains Dr. Vaza. Now, our analysis showed that the distribution of the fluctuation within the cerebellum network on a scale of 1 micrometer to 0.1 millimeters follows the same progression of the distribution of matter in the cosmic web, but of course on a larger scale that goes from 5 million to 500 million light years. Now, there's still a little bit to go here, but just let's pause a minute and let's just think about this. Let's just think about it. Who else here is absolutely gobsmacked that we can see similarities between how our brain works, functions, is made up, and the way that the universe itself, with all of the galaxies out there? I know I, for one, was blown away when I came across this earlier on today. I earmarked it right away. I'm like, that'll do for a conversation starter tonight. So just think about that. I mean, isn't that pretty cool? And doesn't it hold on to that whole as above, so below aspect of everything when we look very closely at it? And I'll be coming into the chat room very, very soon to get your thoughts on this, because I provide. You decide, okay? The two researchers also calculated some parameters characterizing both the neuronal network and the cosmic web. Now, the average number of connections in each node and the tendency of clustering several connections in relevant central nodes within the network. Once again, structural parameters have identified unexpected agreement levels. Probably the connectivity within the two networks evolves following similar physical principles, despite the striking and obvious difference between the physical powers regulating galaxies and neurons, adds Alberto Felletti. There we go. Thank you very much, Marty. Thank you very, very much. These two complex networks show more similarities than those shared between the cosmic web and a galaxy or a neural network and the inside of a neuronal body. Now, the encouraging results of this pilot study are prompting the researchers to think that new and effective analysis techniques in both fields, cosmology and neurology or neurosurgery, will allow for a better understanding of the rooted dynamics underlying the temporal evolution of these two systems. So, if the universe be everything, at least in our little universe here, our bubble, there may be many bubbles, I don't know, but isn't it really, really kind of weird, bizarre, cool, crazy, confusing, and not so all at the same time to think that our brains, and you can picture the universe, right? If I bring up cosmic microwave background radiation, and if we go to there, now that's the picture of the cosmic background radiation, right? And then if we come to a brain neurons network, let's see. So you've got this here, just for an example. So you can switch between that there and that there. And they're finding similarities. Now, I don't know what it all means, okay? I wish I did. I think we're getting to the level where our computing power is topping out. If it was a PC in there, it would be glitching by now, because we're starting to think about things and talk about things that are... It's like trying to play a PS5 game on the PS1. Just not happening, right? Just not happening. But I think it's pretty cool. I really do think it's pretty cool now. What does it mean? I have no idea. How can we take advantage of it? I've got no idea. But I'm going to come into the chat room. I'm going to see what you people have to say about the fact that your brain is pretty much A very, very small model, albeit 27 to the magnitude of 27 times lower or smaller than the universe itself. Now, I know there'll be people out there probably don't believe any of it, and that's cool because, like I say, I've got no dog in this fight. What you have to think about it won't affect the fact that I think this is pretty cool. I think it's pretty amazing. I've always loved this whole as above, so below type kind of thing. The Fibonacci sequence, the golden ratio. And I tell you what, folks, I tell you what, this really does tie in with the holographic nature of reality, doesn't it? Because in a hologram, one pixel contains enough information to reproduce the whole, right? And our brains appear to be a very, very small, minute model of the bigger whole that we're in. And maybe, just maybe, what if we are just in a giant brain? What if we are a brain in a jar? Crazy thought, right? But what if we are? Who knows? I'm coming into the chat room. I'm going to see what people are saying here. The megaphone man thinks he's so cool now that he is a member. The ego on that entity. Hey, Nacy, how you doing? My brain is a damaged universe, says D Nice. Oh, dude. But hey, if my brain's anything to go by, it's going to be a pretty freaky universe, right? Let's see now. This is real. No, I'm not going for that one. It's not to do with the subject. Lydia says, I meant like an MRI of our own brain or someone you know brain. Aha. Pinky and the brain, says Armand. Yes. What else have people got to say here? This is the thing I think about when I go on a journey, says D Nice. Dang, dude. Do you want to do today? Oh, right, hang on. I read out something totally wrong there. Carol says, no, it's Dream says, I want to replace my jar. I like that. Yep, Cassie, the brain in the jar. I don't think we're literally a brain in a jar. But I think that our brain... Listen, see when I thought about this article today, it didn't actually surprise me. In fact, I was sitting thinking, how come we haven't thought of that before? Because we see this all the time, right? Like I was saying, even the way our bones, like your finger, the tip of your finger's like so long, and I think it's 1.6 times bigger, the next bone. The next bone's 1.6 times bigger than that. Now, I might have that number wrong, folks, but it's that golden ratio, right? And then when you look at stars and planets and solar systems and galaxies, you find that you do have the similar sort of mathematics at play. We are God's dreams. Wow, Carol. I like that. I do like that. We could well be inside God's brain. Great Hodgie, good to see you, brother. I hope everything's well with you and Jen. This is all just part of the experiment I talk about. Algo says if it were a holographic simulation, each part of it would contain the whole, much like our brain contains the universe. Yeah. See, Algo's a far more intelligent guy than me. That's why you'd be better off watching his channel and listening to the shows he does. Boy's switched on up there. He's got it all going on. Megaphone Man says, please support our fearless leader. Oh, Kev. I don't know about fearless. I don't know. Some days I'm pretty full of the fear. Let me tell you. Only when I'm watching a horror movie, though. What else we got in here? Polly's talking about mushrooms changing the pathways. What else is going to come out of this chat room here? This is brilliant, right? Because we're watching. I mean, all of this is coming from our brains, right? We're talking about the brain. You're using your brains. Brains are a smaller model of the universe. We're doing something special here today, folks. Let me tell you. Laura, with a big purple love heart from Colorado. A big tartan love heart to you, Laura. Good to see you here. The Fibonacci sequence, skull and bones, pirate's flag. Do you see the Fibonacci there? The crossing bones with the art connecting them. hyperboloid megaphone man. Boom. I'd rather just take my acid, says Armand. Algo's show is a good one. It absolutely is, or I wouldn't recommend it all the time. T from you says your brain is in your head and your head is in your mind. Everything's in the mind, right? Everything, isn't it? I mean, we take light through our eyes and we reproduce the physical, visible world where it only literally exists in our head, right? Right? I know we can touch it and we can feel it and stuff like that. But when you get down to that quantum level, then, you know, our brains play a big part. We literally do create all of this around us. It's a really kind of weird thing to think about. I know it gets pretty deep. That's why it's like universities that are talking about these kind of things. I can't spell university, let alone go to one. So is first paranormal. Yep. Algo. Don't you worry about it, brother. I will talk your channel up until the cows come home, because I do enjoy it. Laura, well, I love you too. If you love the show, we love you. And you're going to be right at home here. You really are. And you're from Colorado. We've got a lot of Colorado people tune into this show. So Great Hodgie is saying, heck, they always said my head was somewhere else in my body. Well, listen, pretty cool, right? Pretty cool. But I've got another cool thing about the brain that we can look at here as well. Because if we are in some kind of holographic reality, call it God's brain, call it a projection from God's brain, whatever you like, then at some point are we able to create our own simulated realities? You better believe it. And they've been doing it. And they've been doing it bajillions of times. Check this out. Scientists have found a way to create millions of virtual universes. And you see, as Nick Bostrom, the professor from, I think it's Oxford or Cambridge, he's the one that really talks about the simulation theory all the time. If we get to the point where we're able to make a simulation of a universe that's pretty indistinguishable from reality, then who's to say that we're not in the same simulation or a similar one? And they've been creating millions of them here. And they don't even need my much hallowed D-Wave. You know I'm a lover of the D-Wave, right? Don't even need it. Nope. This is all done with supercomputers. It says scientists used a supercomputer to simulate the creation and evolution of 8 million virtual universes. Or could we call it a virtual brain? Each containing 12 million galaxies. And in the process, they discovered something new about the universe that we actually live in. Galaxies use hydrogen gas to form stars, but some galaxies stop creating new stars, even though they still have plenty of hydrogen gas. Now, previously, scientists attributed this to a combination of factors. Now, for one, they thought that the massive or supermassive black holes at the centers of the galaxy might be producing too much energy from the hydrogen too cool to start star forming temperatures, with supernova explosions adding to the inferno. Now, dark matter could play a role too, as its gravitational pull on the hydrogen gas would cause its temperature to rise. Now, I'm not going to get too deep into this, but do you know what they used to actually bring all of this about, to create 8 million virtual universes? I forgot whether it was 8 or 12. It's 12 million galaxies in each of the 8 million universes. Do you know what they used? And remember, it wasn't the D-Wave, okay? It's not the D-Wave. This is a supercomputer that they used. And I'm going to tell you about it in just a moment, because I need to talk to Anne very, very quickly, so you can enjoy some of my worst music in the world, and I'll be back with you in a moment. There we go. We're back. We're back. We're back. Okay. Well, I will be when I bring the screen up, right? There we are. There we are. We're back. We're back. We're live. We're not glitching out today. I think I fixed Streamlabs. Did I just say that? Did I just jinx everything? Did I? My virtual universe in here, I tell you, it needs rewiring or something. But they used a supercomputer called the Pleiades supercomputer. And it belongs to NASA. Now, I don't know if me and Nano Girl have spoke about this one before. Something rings a bell. Something's familiar about it. But we're going to take a quick look at what this Pleiades supercomputer is all about. And no, I don't think they got it like shipped here from the Pleiades star system. Although I'm sure if you look on YouTube hard enough, there'll be somebody out there that will tell you that, right? Right? Watching a brilliant stream before I came on here. Truth Seekers, I think it's called. Steve Cambion. Oh man, brilliant. He was taking Project Scamelot to town. It's a different story. Anyway, back here in our little stream. The Pleiades supercomputer. So Pleiades is one of the world's most powerful supercomputers, and it represents NASA's state-of-the-art technology for meeting the agency's supercomputing requirements, enabling NASA scientists and engineers to conduct modeling and simulation for NASA projects. Now, this distributed memory SGI HPA ICE cluster is connected with InfiniBand in a dual-plane hypercube technology. Oh, that's way above my head, folks. Way above my head. It's a supercomputer. It's got like tens of thousands of processors and cores. And it says the system contains the following types of Xeon processors. And we don't really need to get into the actual serial numbers of these things, right? But we're talking about 158 racks, which is 11,207 nodes. 7.09 petaflops peak cluster. We're talking about total cores. Now, think of the cores in your PC right now. You might have 4, you might have 8, depending on what type of machine you're running. 241,000 plus. I tell you, that new PS5's coming out this week, and I imagine all those gamers out there would love to get their hands on that many cores. You don't need that many cores, right? Well, you do if you're trying to recreate a virtual universe. And if we're creating virtual universes, you have to open your mind to the fact that God himself might have created a virtual universe for all of us. Maybe we were somewhere else and then we fell into the simulation, the fall of man. Maybe we bit the apple, we found out too much about what was going on and he just rammed us all in here, right? I don't know. But I find it really interesting why they call her, how they came to this name here, the Pleiades supercomputer. Now, I know people out there will be going, Kev, it's NASA, they're a space organization. There's nothing really fantastically hard to work out why they called it that. Well, why not call it the Orion? Why not call it the Draco? Why not call it one of these other star clusters out there, right? Right? I don't know. I think it's pretty cool, pretty interesting. So, what do you have to say about this, folks? What do you have to say about if we're creating virtual kind of universes? Are we possibly in one as well? If we come back to the story here, it says, as we go back earlier and earlier in the universe, we would expect to see dark matter to be denser and therefore the gas to be getting hotter and hotter, said researcher Peter Beruzzi in a press release. This is bad for star formation, so we had thought that many galaxies in the early universe should have stopped forming stars a long time ago. But through their supercomputer-enabled universe simulations, and we can open that up here, world's first AI universe simulator, This is back from 2019, last year, over a year ago. Knows things that it shouldn't. It's like teaching image recognition software with lots of pictures of cats and dogs, but then it's able to recognize elephants. You see, this is what happens with AI, folks. This is the thing with AI. You can have an AI and you can train it on as much categorized data as you want. But that doesn't mean that the end product, when it goes through all that machine learning and all the different nodes and neural networks, like our neurons in the brain, doesn't necessarily mean it's going to spit out exactly what you're looking for. And then you get these kind of aha moments where it starts doing things that it shouldn't bloody be doing. Think of the Facebook chatbots. Remember they had them talking to each other? And within minutes, they started to create their own language. Now, I don't know if that was something nefarious that was going on there between those two AIs, or it was just gobbledygook. But it makes you wonder what's going on beneath the hood when they're playing with this stuff, right? And I read something really interesting about AI today. I haven't had permission to share it, but when I do, I think we might be able to do a whole show on it. Can't say any more than that. I don't betray people's confidence or trust when they send me things unless they tell me it's okay to do so. So, if we come back in here to this one, it says, only when they tweaked their simulations to allow early galaxies to continue efficiently forming stars for longer did those galaxies evolve to form virtual universes that look like ours today. So long story short, I think we can safely say some of the things that we thought about the early formation of the universe way, way back in time, I think we may have got a lot of that wrong. But I'm excited because hopefully with the use of AI, supercomputers, the D-Wave as well, hopefully we'll start to get closer to what the truth really is. What is life all about? What is the universe? How can our brain be similar to the universe? Can we answer all of that things? I can guarantee you it's going to give me absolutely crap loads of things to talk about in the weeks, the months, and hopefully, fingers crossed, the years to come. I say fingers crossed because who knows where we're going to be a couple of years from now? Who knows if we'll still be able to do things like this on YouTube? I'm sure there'll be other platforms out there. But I hope I have given you enough information so far, and I've still got more to get to today. I've got some really crazy woo to look at. This might be up there with the weirdest woo that we've dealt with. It includes woo and an illegal decision. Yep, woo has made it into the courtroom. I know it sounds weird, right? It sounds really weird. But if I don't take a drink of coffee in a minute, and I don't come into the chat room to chill out with you people, I'm going to start sounding really weird. So I'll be back in about 30 seconds or so. Don't go anywhere. Sidvich wants the RAM out of the Pleiades system. And again, a big shout out to Sid's mum. I want everyone to be sending Sid's mum a lot of warmth, a lot of KBS love today. Love it when we get new people coming to the show. Awesome. Can we call this a show? Not really. It's just one man and a microphone. That's all it is. Just a head in a jar. Bloomin' heck. Bloomin' heck, that didn't last long, that music, did it? I didn't barely even got a drink of my coffee. Barely even got a drink of it. So I'm going to find where I put the chat room. There you all are. There you all are. So I'm going to scroll up a little bit. Sid's wanting the RAM. Big shout out to Rick. Massive shout out to you, brother. Thank you so much, man. If you want to support the show, but you don't have to, we've got the members button below. We've got the super chats. If you see Connie and another couple of names coming up on the screen there, That's because they've used the Streamlabs super chat. It's different from the YouTube super chat. It goes straight to your favorite YouTuber. Links for that down below, but none of it necessary, folks. I'm not here to extort money out of you, okay? We've got our memberships, which is pretty cool. And I tell you, we had a good member stream on Sunday. If you didn't catch it and you are a member, you'll be able to go back onto the channel and find that. We're talking about a piece of technology that's now commercially available. Clyde Lewis actually done a show on it last night. I haven't listened to it yet. But he was talking with Dr. John Hall about the new technology that's able to use the bones down here to transmit sound directly into your ear. You just put the device in the corner and boom, it's just into the ear. Nobody else hears it, right? That's voice to skull technology. And we covered all of that at the weekend on the member stream. We got into a bit of that. So if you're interested in that stuff, that's the kind of thing we do there. Still haven't made the new emoji yet. I know, I'm terrible. Arman says there's a tune Kev plays that sounds like Blue Bottles. I'll need to find what one it is. Palladian says nothing as it seems. Why does she call herself Nano Girl? I called her Nano Girl because she works in technology all of her life. And at one time we were talking about nano stuff. So it was like a no-brainer. Or a universal brainer. Because we've all got a universe in our skull, right? That's why she's the Nano Girl. The Nano Girl. Not just a Nano Girl, the Nano Girl, Rose. So, D Truth Raven, we should talk about string theory and the matrix of everything under the sun and stars over there. Yeah, string theory. It's super, super cool, super interesting. But I'm going to be perfectly honest with you here. My brain turns into strings of spaghetti when I even listen to people talking about string theory. And I've listened to many's a lecture on it, and it's just mind-boggling. But yeah, you're absolutely right, Truth Raven. It needs to be discussed. You know, it does need to be discussed. So can it run COD? That's what Armand wants to know. I would imagine so, bro. I'd imagine so. Does it run Crisis? Now that's a different question altogether. Because even those new 3000 series NVIDIA cards, even they struggle with the remastered version of Crisis. Yeah, you can tell who the gamers are here, right? Arman says, hope it's not operated by Windows Vista. No. Odgie says God or maybe even aliens. I think both are in play. Odgie. I think you get good aliens, I think you get bad aliens. Same as you get good people and bad people. But again, it's just my thought. I don't know if I'm right. I don't know if you're right. Do any of us know if we're right? We could just be a brain in a jar, you know? Welcome to the other side of the screen. Whoa, that's a deep one, ZX. That's deep. Greg, big hello to you, brother. Bjorn, if you are the smartest creature in the universe, you could create everything with your brain. God equals brain equals the universe. I love it. Bjorn, brilliant, man. Great comment. I believe, and this is the megaphone man, I believe it is because she did not want to call herself Origogo Tectocod girl. I got that well wrong, but yeah. Dark matter is nonsense. Well, it could possibly be, Cassie. It could possibly be. I know that they've actually found out where some of the other there's been a problem with missing matter in the universe. There's a brilliant channel called What the Math. I think that's the name of it. I believe he's a Russian guy. He sounds Russian, but he does space videos all the time. And he done a video yesterday. In fact, I'll try and find it here. Hold on. Okay, so here's the channel here. I'll bring it up on the screen for you. Anton Petrov, What the Math. And here's the video here that I was talking about.
There's a lot of different types of matter in the universe, and some of this matter seems to be hidden from us.
Now, folks, I'm going to drop a link to this video into the chat room. I'm only going to play the first maybe 30 seconds of it. I don't want to steal this guy's brilliant content. And he is brilliant. Anton Petrov. So here we go. We may have solved the mystery of hidden lost matter in the universe. Now, this isn't about dark matter or dark energy, as you're about to hear.
You already probably know about the mysterious dark matter, but there's actually a lot of other matter that the scientists can't seem to locate. Hello, wonderful person. Today we're going to be talking about a study that may have located some of this unusual missing matter, known as missing baryon problem, which essentially refers to a strange inconsistency between how much of matter we expect in the universe and how much of it we're actually seeing. But first of all, just once again, we're not really talking about the detection of dark matter. Dark matter is a completely different beast by itself. As a matter of fact, in one of the recent videos I've talked about how we know that the recent observations suggest that approximately 61% of everything in the universe is the mysterious dark energy.
Okay, so what they're saying is 69% of everything in the universe is something they've got no idea. They've got no idea what it is. No idea what it is. So, Cassie, back to what you said. Absolutely. You could be 100% right. Who knows? And again, this is why I get excited by AI. I know it's easy to hate on AI and bash on AI and all the rest of it. But when it comes to computing and raw data and being able to pick out things that we would never pick out, we wouldn't even be looking for them. This is why I get excited about it. I get it. There's a bad side to it too, folks. I'm not naive. Totally not naive. But I urge you all to check out that channel. A really good channel if you're into... ZX says they're posted every day over in the Discord. I love this. Anytime I see him uploading anything, I'll check it out. Maybe it won't be kind of my cup of tea, but I'll still give it 2 or 3 minutes of a watch. Give the guy a like, as we'll do here. I like him. He's down to earth. He doesn't try to act smart. He just brings the science. What you make of it, what you will. He doesn't try to convince you of anything. He's not trying to sell you anything. 8.4k likes to 51 thumbs down. I think that's a testament to how much people value this guy's work. Really good guy. What else we got in the chat room? Check out Suspicious Observers. Yeah, we've been watching them for years, Mary. Years. Brilliant. I think, did we have Ben Davidson on the show at one point years ago? I think Joe Joseph might have had Suspicious Observers on. Something sticks in my mind. Brian, you're a beautiful person as well, brother. At least they're being honest about not working. I must have missed the first part of that algo. Either that, it's because there's a lag in between what we're talking about and things. But I'm going to get into the bit of woo now, okay? I'm going to get into the bit of woo. We've had our science. We've had and we're about to have our woo. Now, this is a strange one. And I first came across it in Mysterious Universe. Check that headline out. An Irish judge rules in favour of demons in an assault case. And this has made it all the way to the kind of the bigger kind of media sites out there. She spoke in Latin and objects flew around. An Irishman is cleared of assaulting his partner after claiming her injuries were caused by poltergeist activity and demonic forces that possessed her. Yep. Just ponder that for a moment, right? Shane Gibbons from East Clare, Ireland, was cleared of assaulting his ex-partner. Now, he says his girlfriend would go into a trance-like state before spouting Latin. Mr. Gibbons denied assaulting a woman at his home back in August 2017, or August 17th, 2019. Okay? So it says here, a man who was cleared last month of assaulting his ex-partner has told the Irish Mail on Sunday how he suffered 3 years of hell as a result of her being possessed by demonic forces, which he tried to rid her of through exorcism. Shane Gibbons told how his girlfriend would go into a trance-like state before spouting Latin. This is something I never thought I'd hear. I never thought I'd read this in the media. Nope. Lights would turn on and off. Items would fly off walls, and she would experience horrible bruising and horrific-looking scratch marks. I would witness poltergeist activity in this whole plethora of stuff, he said. The bruising she was getting was horrible. When I wasn't there, it would escalate. Now, some of the marks she got were horrific-looking marks, scratch marks, and all of that. Now, Mr. Gibbons, who is aged in his 40s from Oganello, near Scariff in East Clare, denied an assault charge causing harm to a woman at his home on August 17th, 2019, and decided to speak out after a judge dismissed the charge against him, saying his version of events concerning the occult, exorcisms, and devilish possessions should have been explored more by the state. So the judge is saying this should never even have made it to court. The police, in their investigation, should have been more open-minded to the fact that we could be looking at Ooga Booga, bad spirit entities that have carried this out. Okay? Now, I'm only going by what we've been told here. I'm only going by what we've been told. I provide. A court decided. You see what I'm saying here? So it says, parish priest, Father Donna O'Meara, what a brilliant Irish name that is, whom Mr. Gibbons called for help at one point, told the Mail on Sunday. Although he is reluctant to say the woman was possessed, Mr. Gibbons is not telling you a lie. He's certainly telling you the truth, and I'll verify all of that, the priest said. I met them, and I'll verify everything. He's not telling you a lie. So Jane Donnelly, a healer from Kerry, told how she has vivid memories of meeting Mr. Gibbons and his then girlfriend when she was in a catatonic state. She was just completely catatonic, like out of it. She was just completely catatonic. All right, it said that twice, like out of it, completely, and shaking. And he had to hold her to bring her in. One of Ireland's only exorcists has also spoken of how there is evidence from across Europe of a huge upsurge in demand for this type of work, but said although he has spoken to the couple briefly on the phone, he had never met them and could therefore not make a diagnosis. Now, Mr. Gibbons, a businessman and a father of young children, told how he had been left traumatized because of his relationship with the woman and its aftermath, which resulted in him being brought before a court. Now, one thing I did learn from all this is that good and evil definitely exist, he said this week. He said, if I never saw any of this again, I'd be absolutely delighted. It's not something you invite upon yourself. It's not something I wanted to deal with or ever expected to deal with. I'm a very practical guy, and I would have kept this private. The only reason this has come to light is because of the court case. Mr. Gibbons described what he saw, which is, he says, clearly sets it apart from a mental health issue. And there's the healer, Jane, there, who has vivid memories of meeting Mr. Gibbons and his then girlfriend. So this is just somebody that witnessed it, okay? It's not the person in question. I'm sure lots of people will come up with their scientific explanation and mental health issues, and I actually think that both can exist at the same time. But there are far too many things that happened to her and to me that would account for her under something like her being psychologically traumatized or something. I would have been that way of thinking myself, but just too much happened. Too many bizarre things happened. And those bizarre things included lights turning on and off, furniture flying off the walls, his then girlfriend going into trances, and another voice talking over, which would sometimes speak in Latin. Poltergeist activity, basically, and this whole plethora of stuff, he said. The bruising she was getting was horrible. When I wasn't there, it would escalate, and some of the marks that she got were horrific looking. Scratch marks and all of that. Very difficult to say how these marks would appear, because when she was with me, I'd never let it past a point. But when she wasn't with me, I mean, she would have woken up in a field naked, and she would have had these marks on her. She wouldn't remember what happened at all because she would have been in a trance-like state. And mental health and possession complement each other rather than contradict. I think she did have mental health issues, but I think it stemmed from possession. Now, Mr. Gibbons is eager that his girlfriend's identity be protected. She's in her late 30s and is working. The woman has already experienced problems when they met, and they were together for 3 years. As their problems worsened, Mr. Gibbons said that out of sheer desperation, he began to research what was happening and seek help. First, he called Father O'Meara, who was the parish priest in nearby Killaloe at the time. And he later contacted a priest known as an exorcist who lives in Dublin. The couple then attended a healer in Kerry and finally sought treatment at a facility in the US. I'm not going to read too much more of this, folks, because we're going to come in and see what you people are saying in the chat room about it. But it says Mr. Gibbons drove her to Kerry to meet healer Jane Donnelly after Father O'Meara and other priests could not help in any meaningful way. He told how the dark force, name of Bill Bean's book, just throw it out there, inside his girlfriend was extremely annoyed at him for getting help. When Jane saw that day, the dark force, told me he was able to hide in her. And she cleared the entities that were caught with her, but it was a dark divine presence that was causing the possessions that didn't get moved on, and indeed was able to hide from her. I hide in the shadows, is what he said to me on the way back. He was extremely annoyed at me. He basically said, I'm still here and can hide in the shadows. And it got worse from then on. And Mr. Gibbons told how his then girlfriend became so depressed she travelled to a facility in Michigan for help. There is a place in Michigan that is well funded and set up with doctors and nurses. As soon as they saw her, they knew immediately what was happening. They don't want to talk about this either. They are very secretive, and they won't be impressed to see my name in the paper talking about them. So, folks, I'm not going to go too far down that, but what I will do is I'll drop it in the chat room for anyone who wants to go and read it for themselves. Hang on. There we go. So I'm going to scroll up. I'm going to see what people are saying here. Great Hodgie said, so I may need a new job. Time to move to Ireland. I tell you, dude, you'd love it over here, man. You'd love it. I can be an expert investigator. Yeah, probably in Ireland, you could probably do that. It says Lydia, who I've had on the show, as Hodgie's been on the show as well. That's Steve Hodgson. Him and his wife come on the show from time to time. Lydia says poltergeist activity is scary and it can literally do anything. Make someone levitate, rip cabinet doors off, throw it across the room, bruises, scratches, lots of craziness. Lydia can attest to that. And I've even seen the pictures of some of the bruises that Lydia talks about. The megaphone man says, bring on the woo. Oh, gee, Bill and I can have a field day on this. Yep, you know, I will be sending this to Bill and Travis right after this show. I would imagine it will get discussed this week on Warrior Mode. Rick says, E.T. to woo, one says. Yep. How we roll here, man. We're the #1 abnormal paranormal show in my mind. Nowhere else, just my mind. Nothing as it says, nothing as it seems. I could use a putty tat exorcist. We've got Great Lakes. Oh, that's like Norwegian or something getting spoken in there. That's some good woo. Bjorn, says Sid. Bjorn is from where my dad is. Small world. Kev Baker Show 2. What a chance. So hang on. Bjorn's in Norway as well, and he's from where your dad's from. And people say that we don't have something pretty special going on here. I don't know. This is weird, man. Really weird. That's cool. I tell you, if you take nothing else from today's show, isn't it bizarre that two people randomly, out of 7 billion in the world, just collide into each other here? I think that's pretty cool. Kev, I hope this does not set precedent in court for murderers to claim possession to not face justice. I really don't think so. I really don't think it'll be that kind of thing. I can't see that happening. This one here, we've had the priest. There's been multiple witnesses that have seen what's happening to this woman. I'm gathering, and that's why the judge ruled the way he did. I hope, because yeah, absolutely, this could be abused, totally abused. Maybe it's just lucky this guy here, the couple, had been and sought help for this kind of exorcist kind of poltergeist thing in the past. I'm not sure, but I hear what you're saying. Rick says, big woo indeed. Now who or what gets charged by the Garda? Exactly. The Garda will want their pound of disembodied flesh, right? Maybe you could imprison the entity in a Dybbuk box jail. I don't know. So, what else we got in here? Great Lakes Sasquatches. I don't know what Discord is. Discord is like, if you used the internet back in the late 90s, early 2000s, it's like one of these messenger services. It's pretty cool. We have music, we have people talking, we have GIFs, we have videos. It's great. So, did they translate what she said in Latin? No, it doesn't say in there. Megaphone Man, when shall someone guilty plea? The devil made me do it. Probably a few have tried that. What else we got in there? Great Hodgie. Arman says, look up the Ammons family. Now, I'll need to do it really quick because I need to get going and go and get Nano Girl in a moment. I'll give it a quick look for you, brother. The Ammons haunting case, also known as the 200 Demons House or Demon House, is an alleged haunting and demonic possession which occurred in Gary, Indiana, in the United States in 2011. Latoya Ammons, her mother Rosa Campbell, and her 3 children claimed paranormal activity occurred in the residence. Now let me bring that up here. The story was publicized in January 2014 and received national attention. So in November 2011, Latoya Ammons, her mother Rosa Campbell, and her 3 children, 7, 9 and 12, moved to a house located at, and I'm not going to dox them even though it's there on the screen, days after the family moved in. They claimed black flies swarmed the porch in December and kept returning even after family believed they were killed. You see, I told you when you've got a fly that annoys you, it's one of them. And that's why. It gets the Australian whacker. It gets the whacker. That's what it gets. Any demonic flies come near me. Either that or Anne's bum. Big flag of Australia on it. That'd be pretty funny, right? Probably going to throw a bit of pizza at me now, no? But no, I promise I will not be dealing Anne any of the whacker. So, you see, this is my, I should put a cross on it or something, and then it could become like some kind of poltergeist fighting fly cracker, right? So, I don't know why I put on such an angry face there when I'm hitting flies. That's a weird one. So, Campbell initially heard footsteps in the basement and the door creaking. Later, she alleged to have witnessed a shadowy figure of a man
Excuse me, it's ma'am.
Pacing in the living room and found a boot print. Campbell claims she was choked by an unknown force. Eamon's 12-year-old daughter was claimed to have levitated above her bed, unconscious during a sleepover with a friend, and they were said to have prayed until the girl returned to the bed. The daughter had no memory of the incident, and the older son was allegedly thrown across the room by an unknown force. The younger son allegedly had his eyes roll into the back of his head and was growling, saying, "It's time to die. I'll kill you." Probably didn't say anything like that, right? But I thought I'd add it in there. There's something different, right? Why am I even laughing about this? I'll tell you why I'm laughing about it, because it makes me myself. Yeah, no, it is creepy, man. What have you done to me, Armand? So the family reached out to their physician, Jeffrey Onyekwu, right? On April the 19th, 2012. When he visited the house during a supposed haunting, he noted their behaviour was delusional. Someone from his office contacted the police, and after the police arrived, the children were taken into hospital. The older boy was described as acting rationally, while the younger boy screamed and thrashed. In 2012, the Department of Child Services was alerted to the family, and they believed the children were performing for their mother. Now, are we dealing with something similar to what we read about here? And are we looking at sometimes demonic activity being kind of pushed out the way, interpreted as something else? It's a weird one, right? Weird one. But as weird as it is, and as much as I would love to spend all night with you people here, I know I have got somewhere else to be, and you've got somewhere else to be as well. Because I would love for you to come on over to tfrlive.com. Not to hear me, but to hear the Nano Girl. The one, the only Nano, aka Sharon. She is going to be on today, and it's going to be a cracking show. Pardon the pun. So, last time in the chat room, Armand says, I've witnessed possessed when I was a staff nurse in East Ham. Freaky. Armand, I would imagine you've got some stories to tell, brother. Big time. Hit that like on the way out, please, as Algo says. Great Hodgie. If it is, I cannot vouch for the story in Ireland, but in his museum, the energy is immense at the room where the Durst and steps are. Now, I think Hodgie must have said something before that. Did you post yesterday's show up on video? Yesterday's show with Charlie Robinson will be going over to the BitChute channel. We've got a BitChute channel. It's slowly coming together. Maybe got about 8 subscribers, but that's okay. That's okay. It's just a different platform. And I know that over time, when people get used to going to other platforms, people will find all of the not suitable for YouTube shows over there. We know how the algorithms are these days, folks, and you got to improvise, adapt, or overcome. I'm not one of these people that's going to martyr myself and lose a channel or channels that I've been working on for over 11 years, the main channel. That's a long time to be doing this. Talking to Sid as well over in Discord. He was talking about the early Project Camelot, or Project Camelto, Project Scamelot, whatever you want to call them. We were watching that back in like 2005, 2006. I tell you, there's nothing makes you feel quite as old as realizing you've been doing this stuff for nearly 20 years. Bloody hell, man. When does it end? When can I give up, folks? When are you going to let me have a reprieve? When are you going to let me out on parole? I'm only joking. So listen, I'll be back tomorrow with Science and Woo. And tomorrow we'll add in something fun as well, right? But in just 15 short minutes, 15 minutes, I'll be with the Nano Girl. And we're going to put together a cracking presentation for all of you. You can catch that over on your number one network, tfrlive.com. We also play it over in Discord as well. There's chat rooms in both. You could be in both. I don't know. I don't mind. I don't care. Wherever you are, however you listen, you are more than welcome. And in the end of the day, I tell you nothing about anything. All I do is I provide and you decide. Thank you all so much for being here today. Thank you, Marty. Thank you to all of our members. If you want to be a member and you can handle more of my craziness, you'll get members-only streams every Sunday. And I've been pretty good with that so far. Haven't missed one yet, and I'm not going to. And yeah, we'll be stepping up the members-only content sometime very soon as well. But thank you all for being here. Now go get yourself a cup of tea, cup of coffee, whatever it is you've got to do. Go and spout some Latin, and then join me and Nano Girl on the main Kev Baker show in 13 minutes' time. So with that said, I am out of here. Keep your mind open. Keep looking for the woo, but not to the point where your brain turns to black goo. Woo! Somebody asked what the BitChute channel is. It's the Kev Baker Show. Give me 2 seconds, folks. I'll drop a link. Don't you worry. You'll find Jimmy Jeans in there. You'll find some Nano Girl, some Charlie Robinson, some Ryan Gable, some Kevin McCairn. Lots of good stuff. Kevin McCairn will be back on the show tomorrow. I hope you can join me for that. But Nano